Let's go Dolphins! What I'm about to reveal could completely change your perspective on the quarterback situation, the coaching staff, and the entire front office strategy for 2026. Too many changes are happening too fast to be mere coincidence. Names are being signed, connections are being rekindled, and behind it all, a silent plan is unfolding. And believe me, when you see the full picture, you'll understand why the next few weeks could define the entire future of this franchise. But before I explain everything and show you exactly what's happening in Miami, I need a small favor. If you're a true Dolphins fan, one who watches every play, has blue and orange in their blood, and dreams of the Lombardi Trophy, click the like button right now. Seriously, only do this if your loyalty has survived the ups and downs, because this next chapter could be the most unpredictable of all. And if you've been a Dolphins fan for more than 20 years, leave a comment. Go Dolphins! My heart bleeds aqua and orange. Alright, now let me tell you what's really going on. The Dolphins made waves this week with the hiring of Mcdaniel as their new quarterback's coach, a move that's turning heads, and not necessarily in a good way. If that name rings a bell, it's because Hackett was the head coach of the Denver Broncos back in 2022, where his tenure went so poorly he didn't even make it through the full season before getting fired. Since then, he bounced around, including a 2-year stint with the New York Jets as offensive coordinator in 2023 and 2024 that was, frankly, disastrous. Most NFL fans and insiders remember him as the guy who rode the coattails of Aaron Rodgers during their time together in Green Bay from 2019 to 2021. That reputation alone raises eyebrows about whether Hackett actually brings value to Miami or is just another name recycled through the league. But here's where it gets interesting and possibly strategic. This move seems to be more than just about coaching acumen. It could be part of a calculated effort to lure Malik Willis to South Beach. Now, stay with me because the connections here run deep. General Manager John Eric Sullivan, part of the brain trust from Green Bay that originally pursued Malik Willis, is already in place. Jeff Hafley, the Dolphins head coach, has a known relationship with Willis from their time when Malik was on the Packers scout team. And now Hackett, who, while on the Packers defensive staff in 2025, still has strong ties to Willis and comes from an offensive background. It's hard not to notice the pattern: 3 high-ranking staff members with direct ties to Malik Willis. This could be more than coincidence. It looks like the Dolphins are quietly positioning themselves to make a move for Willis in free agency. For Miami, that could mean a new chapter at quarterback if things with Tua Tagovailoa don't pan out long-term. Malik Willis presents a high upside option, and given his familiarity with this trio of decision-makers, Miami could be his most comfortable landing spot. Of course, this brings us to the financial side of things. According to projections, Malik Willis is expected to demand a 1-year deal in the range of $10.5 million. And let's be honest, cap space is not a luxury Miami currently enjoys. If Willis's market value spikes, say to $15 million or higher, that could price Miami out of the conversation. But if he's available in that $10 to $12 million range, the Dolphins might pull the trigger. That's a tight window, and every dollar matters. If they overpay and Willis underperforms, it could set the team back both financially and competitively. Then there's the strategic debate. Do you shell out $10 million for Willis as a bridge QB, knowing full well it could blow up in your face? Or do you go for a cheaper option, someone like Mac Jones, Anthony Richardson, or Tanner McKee, all of whom are still on rookie contracts and potentially available via trade? It's a tough call, and the front office has to weigh the allure of familiarity with Willis against pure economic and football logic. He could either be the spark that ignites a deep playoff run or just another overpaid gamble that didn't pan out. The situation becomes even more layered when you consider Malik Willis's free agency market. It's reportedly down to just 2 teams, Miami and the Cleveland Browns. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler confirmed these were the 2 destinations most consistently linked to Willis. The Browns, of course, are also looking for a short-term or backup QB solution and have their own ties to the player. But Miami's alignment of key personnel might just give them the edge. Still, the financial terms will ultimately determine whether this move happens or not. But let's shift to another fascinating subplot that could also impact Miami's defense in a big way. The Dolphins have been aggressively reshaping their defensive coaching staff. They've brought in Jay Adai, the former cornerbacks coach from the Buffalo Bills. Not only is he a native Floridian, but he's also deeply passionate about coaching, as shown by his all-in social media posts the moment he was hired. From playing at West Virginia to coaching under Kirby Smart at Georgia, where defensive backs have been elite in recent years, Adai brings energy and pedigree. And that's not all. He also has direct history with Rasul Douglas from their time together in Buffalo in 2024. And so does another new hire, Ryan Downard, who worked with Douglas in Green Bay. These are not random coincidences. These are strategic moves. Rasul Douglas was open about wanting to return to Miami. Now, with 2 familiar faces already embedded into the coaching staff, the pathway is being cleared for his possible return. This leads us to another hire, Al Washington, the former Notre Dame linebackers coach, now joining Miami to coach the same position. Like Adai, he's 41 years old and brings a youthful energy to the staff. He previously coached under Jeff Hafley at Ohio State in 2019. He's another strong piece added to this rapidly evolving defense, and while it's his first NFL gig, the foundation he's coming from is rock solid. And while we're on the subject of Malik Willis, let's not forget the high-stakes implications of this potential signing, not just for 2026, but for the trajectory of the Miami Dolphins franchise moving forward. If the Dolphins bring him in and he takes off, this could be one of the boldest and most rewarding gambles in recent NFL memory. But if he falters, Miami might find themselves in a rebuild scenario sooner than expected. That's the razor's edge this front office is walking. Look at the logic from the team's point of view. Malik Willis, though inconsistent in his early NFL years, remains a player with tantalizing potential. He's athletic, has a cannon for an arm, and is still young enough to be molded into a top-tier starter. And let's be real, Mike McDaniel's offensive creativity paired with Hackett's experience, for better or worse, might give Malik the first truly stable system of his career. Throw in the trust factor with Hafley and Sullivan, and this becomes a rare opportunity for both sides to reset and rise together. But again, that $10 to $12 million price tag looms large. You're not paying backup money for a project, you're paying bridge starter money for a guy who hasn't yet proven he can sustain success in the league. It's a bet, and while many fans might be excited by the idea of a dual-threat quarterback potentially breaking out under this offensive scheme, others will rightfully ask, why risk that much cap space on uncertainty? Especially when you've got pressing needs elsewhere on the roster and a playoff-ready core? The Dolphins have already signaled through these coaching hires that they're not only planning for the now, but also laying the groundwork for a post-Tua contingency plan. Whether that's because of durability concerns, contract talks, or simply an organizational shift, it's becoming more and more clear that Tua Tagovailoa's long-term hold on this job is no longer ironclad. Malik Willis wouldn't just be a QB addition. He'd be a clear message. This front office isn't afraid to stir the pot and challenge the status quo. And if that wasn't enough to stir up speculation, look at what's going on the defensive side. We mentioned Rasul Douglas earlier, and now the connections are simply too obvious to ignore. With both Ryan Downard and Jay Adai joining the staff, it feels like Miami is practically rolling out the red carpet for Douglas to return. Adai coached him in Buffalo. Downard worked with him in Green Bay. And Douglas, who publicly expressed interest in staying in Miami, now sees two familiar coaches already wearing aqua and orange. This could be a brilliant under-the-radar retention strategy. Instead of just throwing money at Douglas, Miami is building a coaching environment that's tailor-made to his preferences, his past, and his playing style. If they bring him back, he'd walk into a system loaded with staff that understands how to get the most out of his skill set. That's the kind of smart, culture-oriented move championship teams make, building not just rosters, but relationships. And then there's Al Washington, the fresh-faced, high-motor linebackers coach from Notre Dame, stepping into his first NFL role. Let's give credit where it's due. Jeff Hafley isn't just filling roles. He's bringing in guys who match his energy, his philosophy, and his long-term vision. Al Washington, like Hafley, came through the college ranks with a reputation for development and toughness. If he can bring even half of that intensity to Miami's linebacker room, this defense is going to have a whole new attitude in 2026. So what does all this mean in the big picture? It means that Miami's leadership is taking bold, calculated steps. They're not afraid to ruffle feathers. They're not afraid to take risks. Whether it's hiring a controversial coach like Hackett, positioning themselves for a quarterback pivot with Malik Willis, or pulling every lever they can to bring back a defensive leader like Rasul Douglas, this front office is playing chess while others are playing checkers. They know the Super Bowl window is open, but it won't stay that way forever. You have star power at receiver, a young head coach known for innovation, and a defense that, if it can stay healthy, has top 10 potential. This offseason is about pushing chips to the center of the table and saying,